Hi there and welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Matthias and I'm an underwater cinematographer and filmmaker based in Zurich, Switzerland. On my channel we talk about underwater cinematography, filmmaking for traveling and tips and tricks on how to improve your filmmaking in general. So if any of these topics are of interest to you, please consider subscribing to my channel so you're not missing out on any future content here. It's time for another tutorial, and today I'm going to share with you my 4 tips on how to increase your workflow in Final Cut Pro X. Coming up. Now, in my opinion, Final Cut Pro X is, as it is, a very intuitive software to use as an editing tool. But there is a few things that you can do to increase your workflow while editing with Final Cut Pro X. My first tip that I'm going to share with you today is to create proxy files for all your footage that you're importing into Final Cut Pro X. Now, what are proxy files? Proxy files are basically lower resolution copies of your original video files. Now, why do we want to create proxy files? They are very handy, in particular if you're working with a older, a slower, weaker machine, a weaker computer, or if you're working with, let's say, 10-bit or even RAW footage. Because that footage takes up a lot of power from your computer to work with, and by creating proxy files, they will play much nicer on your computer and you'll be able to work much easier with that rather than with the original files. In the end, once you've edited your final product, your final movie, you can then switch back to the original files and export from the original files, and you'll get the proper quality from whatever footage that you've imported in the first place, but without having the delays and the dropped frames that you would end up with if you'd work with the original footage from the start. The second tip that I've got for you today is a quite obvious one. It's basically to organize your clips. So once you've imported all your footage into Final Cut Pro X, make sure that you go through all the footage and you select the parts of each of the clips that you want to use or that you think is usable for your final product. You mark those clips with an in and out point, and then you press the F button to mark those parts of the clip as your favorites. Now, if you then select just the favorite clips to be shown, you will just end up with the selection that you made before, and it's a lot easier for you to have an overview over the usable footage that you've taken and that you want to take into the final video. Tip number 3 that I've got for you today is something that I've just discovered myself a couple of months ago, and I've been using this on pretty much every single project ever since. It's using attributes, copying and pasting them from one clip to another one. This can be very useful if you have several clips that have the same properties. So the exposure is pretty much the same, the color is pretty much the same, and you want to have them end up looking the same as well. So what you can do is make all the adjustments in one clip and then copy that clip and paste those adjustments to all the other clips that are similar to that first clip. That way, you don't have to make those adjustments on every single clip manually, but you can do it with one single click and you got the same adjustments over all the clips that you've selected. This can save you a lot of time and hassle not having to go through every single clip individually. And last but not least for today, tip number 4 that I've got for you is to use a specific title as a look grade. What that means is that we're using a title that we put on top of our timeline, and then we can use that title to put a LUT in it, so that way we don't have to put the LUT on every single clip individually, but we can just put it on this one title that covers all the clips in our project, and that way we can make sure that we get the same look on all of our footage. Now obviously that means that in the previous step, where you made the adjustments with exposure, color, all that sort of stuff on every single clip, you need to make sure that these look fine throughout the entire video that you're making, and then you can put the look grade on top of it, and with very little extra work you can get a specific look to your footage that way. And that's already it for today, guys. Those were 4 tips that I've got for you for an increased workflow in Final Cut Pro X. I hope this video was useful to you. I hope you got something out of it. And if you do like these kinds of videos, these tutorials, please let me know down in the description box what kind of topics you would like to cover me regarding Final Cut Pro X in the future, and I'd be more than happy to pick up on these topics and make a video about those in the future. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button. It does mean a lot to me. And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you do get notified as soon as I post another video in the future. So thanks again for your time, and I will see you in the next video.